hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Barbara, thank you for making it possible for us to meet one of your amazing clients, the one and only. You do the introduction, Barbara. Go.
This is my amazing client, Andrea. I like to call her Andrea the Ninja Schulman.
Wow, the ninja. So where did that come from?
Yes. She is one badass little thing. She knows how to get it done, get the job done. Let's just call it that. Let's put it that way.
All right. Well, so Andrew, would you be so kind as to kind of share with us like where you're living, or at least your corner of the world, and what your experience has been as far as this journey of losing weight, feeling great, improving body composition, et cetera, with Barbara?
Yeah. So I'm right outside of Boston, Mass. I had connected with Barbara actually, I would say right at the start of the pandemic. I think it was last May of 2020. And I had approached her just feeling like over, course of 10 plus years or so, I kept trying to lose weight, and I was constantly exercising and eating what I deemed was healthy. And really wanted to change up my habits, figure out how I could become more toned. And in partnering with Barbara over the course of, what was it, 16, 17 weeks, something along those lines, really started dropping weight and body fat percentage really quickly, and started learning so much that I never knew about just foods in different categories, and thinking about building those fat burning meals, and how I'm really approaching my day and eating and portion sizes. And now, how many months has it been since we haven't worked together? It's probably been 6. And I've continued to maintain and actually even lose a little more. So I'm really applying that knowledge, and it's been really a wonderful experience. And also we, basically became friends through the process too. Very grateful for that as well.
Well, so do us a favor, because a lot of people are looking at you right now and they're thinking, she don't have no weight to lose. I mean, like, what is she? I mean, was it 100 pounds? But we all know that, losing that last 10 to 15 can be hell.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about that, because obviously you were struggling a little bit, but you were active. And like you said, you were eating healthy. And then you connect with Miss BK over here, and you guys get the plan going. You're eating more, but yet share the struggle.
Yeah. I mean, I think, pre-Barbara, it was frustrating. I'd have, my lunch would be like chicken, steamed broccoli, and sweet potato, and I'd still be hungry. And then I'd have an apple. And I didn't realize that I was having far more carbohydrates than I was protein. And I was just doing way too much cardio and not enough weightlifting. And my goal was really to become toned. So through working with Barbara, it was really figuring out, okay, how do I build my meals and snacks around lean protein, and really think about, having the right, servings and kind of portion control to make food yummy and tasty. And really learning also how to, go to a restaurant and, pick a particular dish that may align with what I'm interested in eating, but also kind of fits within the framework of, fat burning meal. I would say there were definitely days when I was really at the beginning where I was hungry. I would text her and be like, oh God, what is the next meal? But I really was determined and stayed with it. And over the course of like 2 weeks, it just became very natural. And I really didn't feel those hunger pangs that I had initially, because we sort of reset my metabolism. But I would say what really helped me be successful was not only having Barbara there for guidance and as a source of motivation and mentor, but really helped is the focus and sort of determination that I had to really keep myself in check, give myself a routine in partnership with Barbara in terms of exercise, and really meal planning really helped some of that, struggle as well. And there's still some days where I'm like, oh gosh, this is, it's challenging. But with anything, you're going to run into some days where you just want to eat like a muffin or something like that, and you can figure out how to incorporate it.
So I have a question for you, and then I want to ask Barbara a question as it pertains to her work with you.
Okay.
Now, with you and doing this process and losing this weight after struggling with wanting to get it off, what is the one thing you tell your friends about what to expect? You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people struggling and they have no idea that they can get the results without avoiding carbs.
Yeah.
So how do you
I think,
explain, Barbara, and what you've done to other people?
yeah, I think I really go into it saying like I'd seen so many nutritionists, well, I shouldn't say so many, but I'd seen about 3 nutritionists over the years and was a really avid exerciser and exercised 7 days a week for the last 10 years or so. And just nothing, I was staying stagnant. And sometimes I'd even go up. So I basically would give that example of, I can eat all these healthy foods and exercise, but, if nothing's happening, it's like, it's certainly frustrating. So basically talking about how food is really the ultimate. You can work out all you want, but it really depends on what you're putting into your body, how you're nourishing your body, how you're building your meals, because that's going to be the biggest impact for you. When I first started, I was doing an hour and a half or even an hour and 45 of weightlifting every day. Well, 6 days a week, I would say.
Wow.
And then even pulled back to an hour. And I rarely take breaks. Like I work myself to the bone because I like it and I feel good after that. But I'm eating the same that I was when I was exercising for an hour and a half, hour and 45. And quite frankly, I now probably look better than even I did then. But I think it's about kind of finding that balance for like what makes you happy from an exercise component and trying to build meals that, satiate you and you enjoy.
Right. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so
All
this
right.
so this is a good one for Barbara, and it's fun for me to ask this question because, we get to hear from clients, and very rarely do we get to hear from the coaches because some clients can be a headache, right?
Sure.
Some clients you can you're about to give them a call and have that session. You're like, Lord, help me.
Like this.
Like, yeah, help me. And so I feel that you've been a joy. So what did you like most about, working with Andrea, Barbara?
Oh, so many things. I think the first thing that I would say, hopefully you can hear me okay, but the first thing I would say is that she was just very, just real. Just real. She wasn't about, being dishonest about what she was eating, her exercise. She was just real. And we connected so quickly because of that. So we could, really just get down to work right away. I think secondly is that she really focused on giving her best every day. Just literally giving her best, learning, being open to learning something new. And like she alluded to the fact that, she was working out a lot. And I know one of the things that we had to work on, remember, Andrea, is giving her body proper rest. That was part of her program, is making sure that she was resting her body, that she was, yes, eating, to fuel for her goals. But that is the beauty of coaching, and how I know, Robert, you and I always talk about this, about meeting people where they are and how everybody's goals are so different. And I use Andrea as one of my examples of, she's doing like athlete type program, with my coaching. She enjoys working out. She enjoys being very physical. And so we had to work her program that way. That made her happy. That makes her happy to be that active. But we had to make sure that being said, that she was also getting the results that she wanted. And so being a hard worker, being real, and really just kind of enjoying the process. I think that's what really made her successful, is that she, yeah, she took it seriously, but had fun with it too. Oh, I think you're on mute.
I am on mute. Sorry about that. It's almost like did you feel ever like, Andrea, there's like a Sesame Street type of thing? Like, for instance, I'll be sitting down with someone and I'll watch them eat all healthy, organic, straight from their backyard type of food, but they're not eating it in the combinations that you have been coached on.
Yes.
And so they're having a hard time losing the weight. Whereas if they just move one thing out or added one thing in, then they would start to see the results. Like, how cool was that? And obviously it's something that you're sustaining as you have continued to get results.
Yeah, it's definitely very interesting. I would say I can't pay attention too much to what other people are eating because it might drive me nuts, and I'd be like, why are they not eating this way? But it definitely makes you think and kind of analyze what you're putting into your body and how it's reacting. And I certainly know my energy levels since eating this way are far better than they were before. Like when I first started working with Barbara, my brain fog was atrocious daily. And now it's, maybe once a week where I feel a little loopy. That's probably just me. But yeah, it is interesting watching, others eat and just kind of thinking about how I might doctor up that meal so that it's, fat burning, for instance.
Nice. So Barbara, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Of your time with Andrea and working together, what is one thing about her that you wish all your clients did, or it was part of who they are? You know what I mean? Like, what is it about her that if you could have every client that you work with have this characteristic or this trait or this motivation level, whatever that is, like, what is that thing that pops out?
I would say she's persistent. And when I say that is because our journey wasn't always like the numbers were constantly going down the entire time. She can share with you that there were times when she would get frustrated and feel like, gosh, I'm doing all these things. I wish the scale, the body fat percentage would move a little faster. And even still, she persisted through that. And I love that about her because when she did, a week or two, or however many days later, she would get that breakthrough. And we would look back on the times when, she was getting a little frustrated and we knew that it was all worth it, that she stuck to the program. Cause then that's where we were. I mean, that took us where we were, in her progress. And I would wish that all my clients, and I know sometimes they might feel like it's blind faith or whatever, but when I try to tell them, hey, trust it, like trust the process, just stick to it, be persistent. It's so worth it. And it's so sad when I see people give up prematurely, right? They give up too early. They don't give themselves, the chance to really see it through. And of course you're not going to get the results. So if they had her persistence, boom.
Well, there you go. So how does it feel, Andrea, to have someone speaking so kind about you?
It's definitely very nice. I thought she was going to make a joke about my wacky humor. That might be secondary to the persistence. No, I mean, it feels really nice. And I think I feel like that is so true. And I think persistence really paid off in this case. And I feel really great. Like I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, like, wow, look at those. Like my arms are so toned. It's insane. And my abs, I'm like, what is that?
She's got abs for days.
Nice.
Really great. Like, and it's so, I mean, and I very much feel like I, so owe that to Barbara, and I'm incredibly grateful. And, and a friend of mine who's working with Barbara now texted me the other day and said, I just got a breast size small. I'm so grateful to you. Like, thank you for introducing me to Barbara. So it's not just me. She's had an impact on a number of people that, that I've put in front of her. And it's been truly pretty life-changing for me.
Well, it's always nice if you can refer someone and then they get the experience that,
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the reason why you referred them. So sometimes, it doesn't always work out that way.
That is very true. I would say the way that you all have really like simplified food into categories and really explained it, like it's just so easy in terms of the breakdown versus having to think of the constant like macros and sort of calorie counting. And it just gets a little bit challenging to do that. And this just feels a lot more sort of manageable and real and not as sort of analytical and putting a meal together. It feels more easy.
Well, thank you.
Sure.
Is there anything else you want to bring up, Barbara? I mean, we know that you have a pressing schedule there, Andrea, but I just want to say it's great to meet you and thanks for coming on the show and sharing your journey.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. It was really great.
No, absolutely. No, she has been just one of an absolute pleasure to work with. Like I said, we definitely, worked hard at this, but she mentioned her sense of humor, and that is really, I think, that kept things fresh, kept things fun. And like I said, we were just real about it. And when you kind of step back and you take a deep breath in, and yes, you have goals, but how much more fun it is to enjoy it along the way. And it's been an absolute pleasure for me to coach her, to become a friend of hers now, and to see how she's literally, I mean, blossomed. I mean, like I said, we got to show she's got to let us see an after picture, because she is rocking.
The summer baby.
Yeah.
When it's bikini season.
Well, thank you for the time, and we'll check back in with you, and we'll definitely in the live show we'll show your before and after.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Time to move it on. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Take care.